Hello everyone, in this video we are going to learn how to create Todoist Task from new ClickUp Task. Suppose you are using ClickUp to manage your day-to-day task and now you want that as soon as a new task is created in ClickUp, automatically by using the same response, a new task should also be created and added in Todoist. So how we are going to do this process automatically and effortlessly? For that we will have to connect both these applications, but because they do not have any kind of native integration between them, therefore we are going to use Pabbly Connect, which is an amazing automation and integration software in order to connect both of them. Now what we are going to do, we have ClickUp in our trigger and Todoist in our action. So we will be connecting both of them by using Pabbly Connect in such a way that whenever a new task will be created in ClickUp, automatically the same task will also be created in Todoist. And to learn this entire automation step by step, let me take you all to my screen. In this video, we are going to learn that how can we automatically create a task in Todoist whenever a new task is created in ClickUp. Okay, so let's start learning this process step by step. First of all, in order to create this workflow, we have to come on our browser and then we have to search for pabbly.com/connect. When we do that, this URL is going to take us towards the landing page of this software. Here we can find two options, sign in and sign up for free. So if you are an existing user, you can directly sign in. But if you are a new user, you have to click on this sign up for free button to create your free new account. And it will take only 2 minutes. Also, at the time of account creation, you will get 100 free tasks to explore this amazing software. As an existing user, I am clicking on sign in. And this is the all app section of Pabbly. Here we can find all the products which are offered by Pabbly. Now to create this workflow, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. So let's click on access now. And it will take us towards the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. So here we can find all our workflows which we have created on this dashboard. And to create a new workflow, we have to click on this create workflow option. So let's click on it. And here a dialog box has appeared in which we have to enter a name for our workflow. So let's give it a suitable name. So I have given a name as create Todoist task when ClickUp task is created. You can give any name to your workflows according to your choice. Now after giving the name, we can also select the folder in which we want to save this workflow. So I have already selected it as home. Let's click on create. And here we can find that two windows are open in front of us. So what are these windows? These are trigger and actions. Trigger and actions are the two main concepts of the entire automation on which the workflow runs. Okay, so the trigger says when this happens and the action says do this. That means the trigger is the very first step and it commands the workflow and automatically the action is going to follow that. Now here in this workflow, we are going to take ClickUp in our trigger and Todoist in our action. And we want that as soon as a new task is created in ClickUp, automatically by using that response, a new task should also be created in Todoist. Okay, so this is our workflow. Now let's start creating this workflow. First of all, we have to select our trigger application and which is going to be ClickUp. Let's select it. And now we will select our trigger event. So the trigger event is the event on the happening of which the workflow is going to be initiated. So here in our trigger event, we will select new task as we want that this workflow should triggers when a new task is created in ClickUp. Okay, let's select new task. And now we will click on connect. Here we can find two options, add new connection or select existing connection. So let us click on add new connection to build a fresh connection. If you are already having an existing connection with ClickUp, you can go with that. Okay, so after clicking on add new connection, we have to enter a API token. So from where we are going to find that API token? For that we have to go on our ClickUp account and under profile section, we have to go on apps. After that, we will find our API token. So let me take you to my ClickUp account and I will tell you exactly how we have to find our API key. So this is my ClickUp account and now we have to go on the left side under profile section. After coming on it, we can find the option of apps. So let's select it. And here we can find that our API token is given over here. Let's copy it and we will paste it over here. Done. Click on save. And with this, our ClickUp account is connected with Pabbly Connect. Now let's move on and here we have to enter several details. So first of all, it is asking us for the workspace name. So here I only have one workspace. So it is already selected over here. Okay. The next is space name. So now we have to select the space in which we want to create a new task. So I am going to select the space as connect. Let's go and check. This is my space which is named as connect. Okay. The next is folder name. So in which folder we want to create the task, we have to select it here. So I want to create a new task in payment status. Okay, so we have selected it. and this is the folder which is named as payment status. So every time a new task which will be created in this particular folder, we want to receive the response of that in Pabbly Connect. Okay, now the next is list name. So after that we also have to select the list name. So I only have one list which is named as failed, cancelled, refunded payments in this payment status folder, so it is already selected. Okay, so now we have selected all the details, so we have to click on save and send test request. But before that, because ClickUp is based on polling, it is written that the trigger will check for new data in every 8 hours. So here now when we are going to click on save and send test request, we will receive the latest response which was recently created within 8 hours. Okay, but here we want to receive the response of the task which we are going to create recently. So before clicking on save and send test request, we are going to do a test submission here in ClickUp by adding a new task. Okay, so here after coming on the list failed, cancelled, refunded payments, we are going to click on this task button from the right side, and now we can create a new task. So let us first give a title to this task. So I am going to name it as new test task, just a random name. And now I'm going to write a description. So let us write a description. Important team meeting regarding payments. Now we can also set the priority. So we can rank the priority as urgent, high, normal, low. So let me give it a high priority. We can schedule the dates also. So let's schedule the date. Now the next is tags. So we can also add some tags to this task. So I am going to add the task as urgent. So in the same manner, you can set the date, set the priority, and add the tags to your task. There are several other options also, but for this workflow now I'm keeping it basic. So I have created a basic task. Let's click on create task, and our task is created. Okay, now let's go back to Pabbly Connect and we will click on save and send test request in order to capture the response. And here we can find that we have received the response of the task which we have recently created, and the content is also given over here, important team meeting regarding payments, and all the details of the task are given over here. So let's move on, and now by using this response we are going to create a new task in Todoist. Okay, so let's select our action application as Todoist, and now in our action event we will select create a task. Click on connect. And from the given options, I'm going to select add new connection, and as we clicked on add new connection, we have to enter a token. So from where we are going to find that token, let's go on this URL, and here we will find our API token. We can find that it has taken us towards the settings. Okay, so under settings we can find the option of integrations, and under that we have to go on developer, and here is our API token. Let's copy it and we will paste it over here. Click on save. And in this way our Todoist account is connected with Pabbly Connect. Let's move on, and here we have to enter the details. So first of all we are going to enter the content. In this field of content we have to enter the title of our task. We have received all the details related to task from ClickUp response. We are going to use the same response in order to map the details over here. Let us map the content. We will simply select our previous step like this, and we will search for the title. We can either scroll down to search, or we can even select here. So let's search task name, and this is the name of the task. Let's select it, and it is mapped. Okay, the next is description. So in the same manner we will search for description, and here our description is given. Let's select it, and it is mapped. So because we are mapping these details instead of entering it manually, therefore every time a new response is going to be captured in Pabbly Connect through ClickUp, these fields are going to be changed with every new response. But if we will enter these details manually, then it will become static and it is not going to change with every new response. Okay, so therefore in order to automate this entire process, we want that we should not do anything manually. This workflow should run smoothly without any stoppage. Here therefore we use mapping. Okay, and mapping is very important step of this automation. Now let's move on, and here we have to select the project ID. In the ID of the project in which we want to create new task. So in Todoist, I want to create a new task in Todoist integration project. I have selected it. Let's go back, and here this is Todoist integration. So every time a new response will be received through ClickUp task, a new task is going to be added in Todoist integration project. Okay, so you can select your own project here from the drop down. The next is section. So I do not have any section in this project, so it is blank. You can also add the section over here. Okay, so let's move on towards the date, and here it is written that we have to use one of the three fields given over here, either human readable representation of due date, or due date time. So we have to use one of the three fields over here. Okay, so here I'm going to use due date field, and it is written that it requires the format of date in this manner, that is only the year, month and date. So let's check whether we have received the response from ClickUp in the same format or not. So here we will select our previous step like this, and let's search for date. So this is the due date, and we have not received the date in the required format, but we have received it in the timestamp format. Okay, so we have to change it. How we are going to do that? For that we will have to add one more action step in between. Let's select it by clicking on plus sign. And now in our action application, we have to select date time formatter. So date time formatter is a feature by Pabbly through which we can format the date in the required format. Okay, so let's select the event, and here we want to format the date only. So let's select it, click on connect, and it is connected very easily. So the connection was not at all a problem because date time formatter is already an inbuilt feature of Pabbly, so it connects very easily. Now let's move on, and here first field is of date, so it is written enter the date to be formatted. Now in this field we have to enter the date which is required to be formatted. So we have received the date from ClickUp Task, and the date is in timestamp. Okay, so this is the date. Let's select it, and it is required to be formatted. Okay, done. Now the next is from format. Select the current input date format. So in this field we have to select the format in which we have received this date. So as we know that we have received this date in timestamp format, so we will select it, and this is the timestamp in millisecond. We have selected it. The next is to format. Select format in which you want to convert the date. So here in this field we have to select the format in which we actually want the date. So let's select, we only want the date in year, month and date format. So we have selected it. Let's click on save and send test request. So we have received a response and the date is formatted. So we have received the date in the required format. Now let's move on, and we are going to use this response from date time formatter in order to map the date here in Todoist. Okay, but before moving on, we have to click on connect again so that we can refresh the connection with Todoist, as we have added one more action step in between. Okay, we will go with the existing connection only. Let's click on save. And again we have connected Todoist with Pabbly Connect. So let's move on, and here now we are supposed to map the date. Let's map the due date from the previous response, date time formatter by Pabbly, and this is the date. So we have mapped it. Now the next is due date time. So I am ignoring it because I have already used due date field, and it is written that we have to use one of the three fields over here. Now the next is label. So I am going to give the label as the tag which I have entered. So this is the tag which I have assigned to the task in ClickUp, urgent task. So I have given it. Okay, if you want to give more than one labels, then you have to use comma and a space. Okay, it is written provide comma separated labels. So if you want to enter more than one labels or more than one tags, so you can enter them by using comma and space like this. Now let's move on, and here we have to enter the assignee ID. So from the drop down, I'm going to select the assignee ID, which is already selected, and the priority. So I want to give the priority as important. So I have selected it. Okay, let's click on save and send test request. And we have received the response along with the ID of the new task. So here we have received this ID of this task. That means a new task is successfully created in Todoist. So let's go and check on Todoist, and here we can find that yes, new test task is created over here, and the description is the same as important team meeting regarding payments. Okay, the due date is today. So this means that we have successfully created this workflow. Now we will check this workflow once again by creating one more task in ClickUp, and we will check whether automatically without any manual steps a new task is added here in Todoist integration project or not. Okay, let's create one more task here by clicking on this plus sign, and here let's give the name as test. Okay, and in the description I'm going to write test task. Let's set the priority as normal. Date, so let's select the date, and we will also add tag as new. Okay, click on create task. So our task is created in ClickUp. Now let's go back on Todoist. So we will refresh the page once, and yes, we can find that a new task is created over here with a name as test and the description as test task. Okay, so this means our workflow is perfectly successful. So let's go back on Pabbly Connect and we will summarize what we have done in this workflow. So we have taken 3 simple steps here, trigger and 2 actions. In trigger we have taken ClickUp, and in action we have taken date time formatter by Pabbly and Todoist. And we have connected all of them by using Pabbly Connect in such a way that now whenever a new task will be created in ClickUp, automatically by using the same response, a new task will also be created and added in Todoist. And we have also used date time formatter by Pabbly to format the date according to the requirement of the workflow. So this was the full workflow, and these are the steps which we have to follow in order to integrate all these applications. Now this was it in this video. I hope this was helpful for you. Thank you for watching. Not only these applications, but you can easily integrate many other applications by using Pabbly Connect. Now, if you have any doubt, you can easily email us at support@pabbly.com. If you want to ask any query, you can easily reach out to us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you are having any pricing related issue with Pabbly Connect, you can easily reach out to the website given over here. Now, if you find this video helpful in any way, do not forget to share it with your friends. And also, please like our videos and subscribe to our channel to learn more such automation.